Hi, I'm Jared. Welcome to my home bar, Foolish Whispers. Well, it's Passover, and one of the things about Passover that I loved growing up were all of the questions. You were always encouraged to ask questions about rituals and symbolic meanings and what everybody was doing. And it's a big part of the Passover Seder is to ask questions. One of my big questions growing up, and even still into adulthood, surrounded the ritual of bitter herbs. On the Seder plate, there are two places for bitter herbs, and we always used horseradish and a piece of romaine lettuce as the two bitter herbs. The thing that never made sense to me was neither of those things are particularly bitter. I can see how romaine has a little bit of bitterness, but horseradish is spicy. It doesn't come across to me as bitter. Turns out I did a bunch of reading into it and a bunch of history, and those aren't the original bitter herbs that were called for. They're just ones that over time have become part of the Seder. So that was sort of my answer, but then I wondered, well, why don't we have bitter herbs? We have access to all kinds of bitter herbs, and one of the things that I, as a bartender, love the flavors of are bittersweet cocktails. In particular, the aperitif-style cocktail, the Negroni. And the Negroni has taken on so many different forms, using all kinds of different ingredients, that I thought maybe what I needed to do for Passover was to make a cocktail called Bitter Herbs that actually used bitter herbs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use a Slivovitz. Slivovitz is a Plum brandy. It is kosher, and it is you find it in a lot of Jewish homes. And I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of Slivovitz. This is a stirred cocktail. Next, I'm going to use Cynar. A lot of people pronounce this Cynar, but as I understand it, the pronunciation is Cynar. Cynar is made from artichoke roots, and it's bittersweet. And one of my favorite Amaro. This is a class of Amaro called a Carpano. And so we're going to add 3/4 ounce of that. And then we're going to use 3/4 ounce of my favorite sweet vermouth, Carpano Antica formula. If I were on a desert island and can only have one bottle of alcohol with me, it would be Carpano Antica formula. Bittersweet in all the right ways, made from wine. Okay, so we have what would normally be in a Negroni, gin, Campari, and sweet vermouth, but we're doing Slivovitz, Cynar, and sweet vermouth. I'm gonna get some ice. And then I'm going to stir it. I'm going to use my bar spoon and stir it cold. I like a 50 count on my stirring. We know it's done because the glass is nicely frosted. I then have a large ice cube that I put into a double old-fashioned glass, what we would probably just call a rocks glass. And then I'm going to strain over that big ice cube. And then, in homage to modern day bitter herbs, I have a piece of romaine. This is from the heart of the romaine, which usually a lot of people don't wind up using. They wind up throwing this out, so I like that as well. So a little bit of romaine into my bitter herbs. And there you have it, bitter herbs, an actual bitter herb cocktail for Passover. L'chaim.